Good morning, guys. It's Leslie at Inskeep Acres. You guys can see the turkeys. They heard me come out the back door. They're ready for breakfast. Still goats over in the breeding pens over there. We did process these Cornish cross on Saturday, and I had taken, let's see if I can. Hi, Orpington. Oh, scared him. So I had taken the other Cornish that we had in there and the, what did I have? Oh, the dark Cornish roosters and put them in with these Orpingtons. And I had lost several of the first batch of Cornish that were in there because they were getting, I thought the Cornish were pecking at each other and kind of just being cannibals. But then when I put these Cornish from the brooder in with them, I had one yesterday that overnight had the same wounds. So I think these Orpingtons were picking on the Cornish. So, hi, Stu Cat. I know you were sleeping on the deck, weren't you? So we had to take the tractor that was in with those chickens and put out here. Yeah, and that chicken didn't make it, but oh no, it is still alive. So it's kind of hard to see probably through the mesh, but right here, this dark spot is where those chickens had pecked it open. So it's still alive. Chickens are actually pretty resilient, and as long as the rest of them are not picking at it, it will heal over. And since it's dried out, we'll just keep an eye on it and make sure it doesn't get infected, and it should be okay. I really didn't think that it would still be alive this morning, but it is. So these Cornish are in here. I don't know if you can see them through the mesh, but there's some dark Cornish roosters, and that one over there with a light colored head was my free rooster. At least I think that one of them was a free chicken. Maybe it wasn't the one with the dark head, or the I don't know. It looks like there's 2 and 2, but we lost one, and I think one was one of my Cornish, and then I got a free chick with it. It could have been that one I lost because they all 5 chicks looked the same. But so these guys should do better over here now that those bully Orpingtons are not with them. Turkeys are ready for breakfast. This is a mess on top. Once it rains, that'll get washed off. But from these chickens, they all sat on top of it instead of in it. So the neighbors let us borrow their little A-frame that they used to use for their turkeys. Really, roosters. Some of these white rock roosters are getting pretty large. So I think we're going to, probably next time when we process our last batch of Cornish, I will probably process a couple of these and see what they look like. They won't be as big breasted and as heavy in the meat like the Cornish, but the Cornish are made from a cross of these, so we'll see what they look like. I wanted some of these roosters in case we wanted to keep some hens and do just the purebred white rocks. We can process some, and then we can have really rooster. Then we can also have replacement hens if our breeding program works out. Are you lost? You don't belong over here. Although I do think I'm going to put them all together in an area. I thought about yesterday maybe trying to fence off a portion of the garden, like these weeds in the corner where I haven't gotten to that bed, and just do it across and around, not to the raspberries. I don't want them to kill those off, but they could eat all the bugs and everything in the asparagus and all of that area. So maybe we'll see if we can, oh, you guys are loud, do something and maybe put the turkeys in there, or maybe put the white rocks in there. I don't know, but I have some fun things to do today. Well, hopefully we'll have some fun things to do today if it works out as planned. Good morning, little girls. How are we doing? You guys had your breakfast? Everybody's chewing cud, relaxing. Yesterday we were asked to take some goats down to downtown Ottawa for their Fall Fest or Scarecrow Festival, or I don't remember what they called it, but we took, let's see, Spree and Rolo and Razzle and Twizzler. I went to downtown Ottawa yesterday for several hours. They got to be loved on by everybody. I'd say loved on by the kids, but there was probably just as many, if not more, adults petting them and loving on them. So not just the kids love the goats. And they had pumpkins that they were giving out to the kids, and they were painting them, and they had a bunch of extras. So they sent us home with pumpkins for the animals. When I got home, I realized that they were all pie pumpkins. So we're gonna put up a bunch of them that we can throw to the pigs, and my goats kind of pick at them. They don't eat them really well, but the pigs will definitely eat them over the winter. And then I'm actually going to can a bunch of them. I ended up with 75 pie pumpkins. I sent some over to the neighbors, and I'm sure that they're definitely going to get more of them. Check out these ladies real quick. Hi guys! Not many interested in me, huh? No. They're still finishing up their breakfast and taking their morning nap, so. Stu's about the only one interested in me, huh? Yeah. You're like a puppy. You follow me everywhere. So before we can get to our interesting stuff this morning, I have to make pig feed so that I can go feed the pigs. I finally got my peas and wheat. They were out of it for quite some time. Hi guys. Who pooped in the water? Really? Was that necessary? The big guy just cleaned it last night. Oh. You guys ate your breakfast. You're not interested in me either, are you? Pawnee is. Hi, Pawnee. Alright, I'm gonna make pig feed. Then we can go check out pigs and hopefully get on to the fun stuff today. Alright, pig feed is made. While I'm grinding some corn, I made this little kind of makeshift grass area for these guys. I just took a cattle panel, clipped it to the fence, kind of hooks around, and it's just up against the trailer. From the trailer, kind of over to the welder and the power panel wall over there, and then they use the chicken netting as kind of one section of fence. So not super sturdy, but sufficient enough for them to get out and eat down some of this stuff here. they'll be happy eating. I'm not really worried about the fence, so I'll let them out for a little bit. And then they can go back in a few hours. I want to get over into that pen and see if it's dry enough to kind of rake it a little bit, and whether or not I can put another breeding pen over there or not. It might still be too mucky from the pig. So we'll check that out today too. But just want to show you guys that they're getting a little bit of grass area since there's absolutely nothing in their pen. I don't know what happened to my microphone. I turned the camera on, checked it, and it was working, and then as soon as I walked into frame, it quit working. So I'm going to give you kind of a brief overview of what I did here, because I don't remember exactly what all I was talking about. But we were making sourdough bread, and I had left my sourdough starter in the refrigerator. That's my starter. I keep just about a quarter cup in the refrigerator. I should feed it about once a week, and I had left it in the refrigerator for, I don't know, about a month and a half. So I took it out and I fed it a couple times, and it was still alive and kicking. So I started some bread. The night before, I take a little bit of starter, feed it pretty heavy, and get my pre-fermentation ready. And then in the morning, then I add everything else to the bread and then let it rise. So it's been in the oven rising. I just turned the light on to keep it a little bit warmer in there. And that's what I'm taking out here. So it's almost doubled in size. Since my starter had been in the refrigerator for an extended amount of time, it's not quite as active. So I just sprayed a little bit of avocado oil just to grease my pans a little bit. So I'm just going to flour the surface a little bit and take my dough out. I don't really want to knead it a whole lot, but it was a little bit sticky, so just getting a little bit of flour on there. And the recipe I use, I got from Homesteading with the Zimmermans, which is, she got the recipe from Kate. I think it's venison with dinner, venison for dinner, from her site. So the recipe that I got from Homesteading with the Zimmermans makes 4 loaves, and I cut that in half this time just to make 2. Last time I made 4, shared it with the neighbor, and put 2 in the refrigerator. But I just flatten it out, roll it up, and then just pinch the seams, kind of tuck the ends in. Still working on getting sourdough figured out. Jason likes a nice crusty artisan loaf, but we go through a lot more sandwich bread than we would an artisan loaf, so trying to get the sourdough sandwich bread kind of figured out first. Bread will go back into the oven, so there's what the shaped loaves look like. It'll go back into the oven with the light on to rise again, probably until about doubled in size. Well, here is our hopefully exciting adventure today. First, I'm going to try ultrasounding Mazikeen. So I have not seen Joker breed either of the does that he's with yet, but we're gonna go ahead and give it a try. So Mazikeen, if he had bred her the day we put them together, would be 35 days. Like I said, I have not seen any signs of him breeding her, so I don't expect to see anything. But we're gonna look because it's fun. We are going to ultrasound 4 does. And I'm not seeing anything obvious. I mean, I suppose there's a chance here. But I don't. Nothing obvious. I'm gonna move down just a little bit. I'm trying a new kind of spot. I was going kind of like right up next to the udder, kind of like the armpit of the leg, next to the udder, I guess. And I had seen someone do it all the way at the back, kind of right behind the udder, so I don't see anything different there. So Mazikeen will stay with Joker for a while, and we'll just check her on the next round of ultrasounds that we do. Oh, next goat is Trinity with a Y. So she would also be 35 days if, straighten you guys out, if Joker bred her the first day they were together. I have not seen him actually breed her, but I did have Lucifer break through the fence and attempt to breed her. I don't know if he actually did or not, so I marked it down. And if he did, she would be 21 days. So we probably wouldn't see anything today, but depending on what we see in future ultrasounds and when she delivers, we may have to DNA test to figure out who the dad is. So if she'll cooperate, we'll see if we can see anything. Nothing obvious. I think this is the, oh, Trinity. I was gonna say I think that was the bladder, the dark spot down there. Well, I'm gonna say nothing obvious for Trinity either. Third goat for today is Sugar. she is in with Lucifer. I have not witnessed a breeding, but I did see that she had muck butt, which is just basically she's dirty from the breeding. And from that date, she would only be 20 days. So again, I don't really expect to see much from her today, but I wanted to check just in case, because from the time they've been together, if I missed something in the beginning, she could be a little further along than that. Nothing obvious. I haven't used this machine since last breeding season, so I've got to get used to it again. But I don't see anything on sugar, so we'll try her again on the next round. Okay guys, this is the one that I am excited for today. So this is going to be Remy's ultrasound. She was not bred last year. We tried with more than one buck and she never settled. So I have my fingers crossed this year. I put Mazikeen as well, did not settle last year, so they are two of the first ones that I put in with bucks, so that I make sure I have plenty of time to try to make sure that we get them bred this year. So I saw Lucifer breed Remy the first day we put them together. So if that's the case, if she actually took then, she would be 29 days today. Of course, I was a little excited and impatient, so I couldn't wait till, you know, the full 30 days tomorrow, but more, probably 45 days, we would see a little bit more. So we're going to just go ahead and try today and see if we can see anything. And we would still be a little bit early. They say 25 to 45 days, but really 35 days. Let's see if we can, not sure if this is anything up here. Doesn't really look like sacs. I was going to see if I could try to find bladder. A little more gel here. Lots of gel makes a big difference. So far, not as exciting as I had hoped for. think this is the bladder. And if that's the case, you would be kind of up in this area. I mean, there is kind of something here, but I think it's probably about the same thing we saw on the rest of them. Nothing super obvious like I've seen on, you know, for sure bred does. But like I said, I'm not real great with this machine, and it's early, so we'll try again another week or so. I am going to say I'm a little bit hopeful here, but nothing that I can for sure say. And she is not real happy with me. Standing all like hunched and whatnot. Oh, just kicked you guys over. Well, not as eventful and exciting as I had hoped we were going to be. No babies yet? She's like, get me out of here. This is enough. Alright. I guess I got excited for nothing. I guess we'll try again next week and hopefully we can see something. We have had dry enough weather that they did come and rake our hay 2 days ago. Or I guess what I would call hay before. I'm not sure that the cows will eat it, but I guess if they're hungry. So these ladies will stay with their gentleman a little while longer. On the plus side, I did see Cupid had muck butt this morning, and when I was coming back and forth to get the ladies to ultrasound, I did witness him breed her, so that is on my list to put on the calendar. And I guess it's noon. I'm gonna go in and have some lunch, and then we'll see when that sourdough bread is ready. Hasn't been long enough yet, so we'll check it. Okay, we're gonna check on our sourdough bread. He's out there baling our hayfield. My starter sat in the refrigerator. I didn't feed it for probably a month and a half, so it's not the best at the moment. I did end up putting a damp towel on top of it. The top was kind of drying off. So they are kind of doubled in size. I'm going to go ahead and turn the oven on. And once it's preheated, I'll put them in, and then I'll come back and show you guys once I take them out. And it looks like we're going to have to go get round bales off the field today. And I want to move the Dolings, the girls from this year's kidding, out into the hayfield. And we haven't been able to burn this pile of trees and brush and whatever else we've been piling out there for at least 2 or 3 years now for our anniversary party. So I just keep putting kids out there fenced around it, and they eat whatever can't be cut and kind of keep those weeds, grass, hay, whatever's in there down. And then hopefully soon we can get that burned and get it out of our hay field. And then I think the cows are going to go out onto the hay field. So, yeah. I will take you and show you what I've been doing. Well, I've been waiting for this to rise. Not a failure, but it's not the best, so it'll still eat. Alright, I've been in here making a mess. Well, can't really say making a mess on my living room floor because I did put out a tablecloth that I can just wipe down. So I've been taking all of the old comb and foundation out of our bee frames. And this was a plastic foundation. You can kind of see the honeycomb on it, like the pattern, and then the bees build out from that. This is one of those plastic frames I have not scraped the wax off of yet, so I mean that's how deep they make their comb. So I need to go through and scrape a few of those. This was a natural wax foundation. I don't know if you can see that's the wax, and then it's got a honeycomb pattern pressed into it. So that's the foundation they built on there with my fingerprints in it, and it has wires running through it for support. So when I melt that, we'll just have to pull the wires out. This was another natural wax foundation. This is what's left of a partial frame. And then we have all of this wax to melt down, and I'm not sure where I put it, but I have that last wax that we scraped off the bottom of frames. So I'm going to work on getting these with fresh foundation in them, get some of this melted down and filtered through, and then we need to get some more frames out to the bees. Okay, I moved out to the garage and I brought the frames that we had taken foundation out of, our new fresh foundation. I don't know if that'll come in clear or not, but it has almost like a tab at the top and bottom that are going to, if I have them clear enough, are going to slide into grooves that we made in our frames. So the bottom slides into a groove in the bottom portion of the frame, and the top sets right into the top of the frame. It has kind of a groove into it, and then we take just a strip and put right into the top, and I'm going to just take the brad nailer and nail through here, and that keeps this from being able to come back out. And then we have fresh frames for the bees. I'll probably scrape a little bit of this propolis, which is bee glue and stuff, off of here, but I didn't want to do the nailing in the house. This is how I broke my finger. It wasn't this nail gun, it was a pneumatic nail gun, but I was working with my dad. Luckily it was just at Jason's parents' house, working on a job putting a window in, and I was trimming it out and shot a brad nail through the wood, through my finger and I was stuck to the framing. So I'm not sure how the depth is on this. That'll be okay. Just gonna stick probably about 3 nails in here. Could be a little deeper, but the bees won't mind. The head of the nail is barely sticking out. So now this piece is nailed in. It won't come out. Foundation stays. And the bees will have a new frame. We're going to do one more of those because I know they need at least 2 more frames out there. I'm just looking to make sure that the foundation was clean. I've had these plastic foundations sitting in a box for quite a while. Sure I'm not getting these little, like, basically they're like little lath strips that my dad and I made to hold the foundation in. I'm sure I'm not getting them back on the ones they were on previously, but it doesn't really matter. We have 2 frames we can take out, 2 of the bees, and then I have 4 more frames here ready that I can do whenever I have some extra time. But I wanted to get these done and ready and get them out to the bees here still this afternoon. So okay, I will spin you guys around here real quick. Show you our pumpkins. So these are all of the pie pumpkins, whoops, that we got from Ottawa yesterday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of baskets and that whole bin. Oh, and then I have some more in the house that had some punctures or things like that that I need to go through right away. So next couple days and we're gonna can some pumpkin. Oh, we're just gonna do a quick in and out of the beehive. I only have about 15 minutes until I need to check my bread. So not gonna do a whole lot of inspecting while we're in there. Really? Are you in heat? I see you wagging your tail. And Obi's with his tongue sticking out. You can get your job done, Obi? Okay, well, we'll leave those 2 to their piece. And let's see. We're going to set you guys right here for a minute while I get my stuff on. Another thing that we need to do is get stuff moved by the garden fence so that I can figure out setting up that old trampoline frame to make a kind of a chicken hoop house. Bees are very active. I see more peppers that we need to pick too. I have a whole towel full. Really, roosters? I have a towel full laying on my counter in the house. Whoa. Oh, that's not good. This cover was up. There's a bunch of bees underneath there. Okay, well, let's see if we can get you guys set up. Where we can both see. How's that? Oop, there's the queen right on top. I'm just gonna flip this right over. They still have not filled out this frame. Let's see if we can get you guys the queen. Ooh, before she runs off on me. Oh, she left me already. Sorry. She took off under there. I thought for sure that they would have this frame already filled. They're working on it. Drawing comb and filling it with honey. I don't think that they like this foundation too much. I mean, I guess they're starting to draw comb on there. Oh, I see how they're getting in and out down there. So, look out, bee. When I filled that other entrance, there is still a gap that the bees can move around. I didn't fill it all the way front to back, inside to outside. I only filled from the outside. I think with these frames in here, we will move it over far enough. Let's see. Yeah, now they cannot access that side, but I need to make sure that there's not bees in there or they won't get out. I guess I should put a bee escape in one of these covers. Okay. Look out, bees, let's not squish you. This cover off real quick. Oh, I've got it glued down. Once they've got, oh, because they've built a little bit of comb on the top. Make sure that there's not the queen up there, just to be safe. do not see her, so hopefully she should be down in between some of these frames. This frame on this end was fresh comb as well, so we're just going to pull this one out just to check and see if they've been drawing comb on it or not. Moving all the frames. Looks like they have one side full. Well, at least where I can see at the top. I can't see to the bottom yet. So they do have that side almost fully drawn, about a third to a half of it full of honey. This side they do have partially drawn out, so they are liking that side. Carefully trying to not squish bees. Now I have to put these all back and move them all. Excuse me, bees. I don't want to squish anybody. Excuse me. Obviously we squished some bees here with our top boards. Looks like we're gonna have to go back a little further. Gloves are sticky. And the whole inside of this kind of propolis, they call it bee glue. See how it's all yellow? Kind of where they had access, they had it glued down around it. Come on, I don't want to squish you guys. Back inside. Excuse me. Excuse me. You guys want back in there? Get in. Some of them are buzzing around my head. Okay, let's get this side opened back up. Again, no queen. So let's just squish these all back over. Get this divider board, make sure it's blocking, and we're good. I only set the timer for 30 minutes since they were small loaves, but they appear to be done. I'm going to check them really fast. They're over 190, so they're done. We're going to probably not the best idea putting this wet towel on here because they are hot on my stoneware, but try to keep some of that in and kind of steam them. Okay, I changed my mind. I didn't like the wet towel on my stoneware. It was steaming pretty good. So we're just going to set this over the top of them, let them cool on this rack with the towel on them. And that's it. Well, that's it, guys. Have a good day. See ya on the next one.